If by some chance, some stroke of luck, or some act of God, you have stumbled upon this broadcast, you are listening to the Chivalry Chronicles with your host, DLH, David, and me, Jaime. I hope you're ready, because I know we are. So let's get into it. Yes. So that's the sweet sound of the Chivalry engine revving up, getting ready for you guys from the friendly confines of the Chivalry Studios, aka my office upstairs. Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. This is a day after that. David, did you have a good Thanksgiving?
I did. Nothing spectacular. My folks came to town. Went over to my brother's house, ate the traditional Thanksgiving, did the traditional nap. As one of the football games was going on that I didn't have any interest in.
There was three, sir. There was three football games.
I just said one. There was only one that I napped in. But
that was the most watched game of the season, I believe.
Well, they must have been counting bodies that were out.
Everybody was watching it. Any favorite pies? Like, what's your favorite pie during Thanksgiving?
I would say pound for pound, it would have to be the pecan pie.
Yeah.
That would probably be the top favorite, but there's sometimes that it doesn't come out too well.
Yeah,
and
it depends.
Like your pumpkin pie could take the lead.
Yeah.
But I think from a pound per pound perspective, if they were both great, the pecan wins out.
Yes, that's always been my favorite. And I don't know how that started, but I remember I went home to Dallas because we used to go up to Dallas for Thanksgiving. And my mom was telling me that it's my dad's favorite. And so I thought it was kind of cool. And also I was like, did I get it? Because is it my favorite because it's my dad's favorite? Or is it my favorite because it's the most delicious freaking pie in the world, right? Like, but I just thought it was funny. I was like, really? Like I'd forgotten or didn't ever know. So of course, after Thanksgiving, you have Black Friday, and I'm pretty sure everybody went shopping. We didn't. Take that back. I think my wife did. She left in the morning, and she was gone for quite some time. So I think she hit up Target. But yeah, so you have Black Friday, and which gets us to our topic today, right? The topic is top chivalry gifts for the men in your life, or for brothers. So the magical gifts that men would like. We do have like a female contingent of listeners. I think it's about 12%. Hopefully we'll try to get that a little bit higher with our following shows and stuff like that. I know that we have one show coming up that's sort of the rebuttal to why men don't change their fashion. We have
the rebuttal or the perspective.
Well, the reason it came up, it's because we were talking about it. I was talking about it with my daughter and my wife, and they're like, "Well, here's why women have to change their." I was like, "Wait, just hold on."
So why women have to do it now?
Yes,
but did you even come to them at that angle? You were just describing what men.
Yeah.
So what caused the beef?
Well, because I think I'd mentioned it in the podcast. I was like, man, it would be really interesting to get the other side of it.
Yeah.
And so I'd mentioned that, and then it was just like, man, my daughter, I call her kind of the fake feminist because she's feminist, but then when it comes to like fixing the car, she's like, Dad, can you fix the car? She goes, that just makes me smart because I don't know nothing about cars, and you know something about cars, so I'm letting you do it. So yeah. So anyway, like we were saying, these are we're gonna start with 5, and depending on what David has, I'll get my 5, he'll get his 5, and then maybe we'll get up to 10. But right now, we'll kind of just start off at 5. So, David, if you want to kind of go through your best one, or I think you have categories.
Yeah, so I figured to break it into categories just so it can kind of embrace an array. I think some people fall heavy in a particular category, which I think maybe to kick things off, maybe we should discuss, like, how obviously these are going to be from our interpretation or something specific that we have, but of course not all men or all people gravitate to the exact same hobbies or particular or gravitate to a particular item, or may already have the item that we're going to say today, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, I think you and I are probably, because I think DLH isn't with us. He couldn't make it today.
The doctor isn't in.
The doctor's not in the house. But I think DLH kind of, and I kind of share similar interests as far as like EDC, you know, everyday carry. Like I do carry a Leatherman every day. I do love knives, and I think you're on the other spectrum. Like you don't carry any of that stuff. So I'm really interested in what the ones that you have. So I'm hoping that together we can come up with a good 10.
Yeah,
and they'll be different because you're not into knives. You're not into like multi-tools. You're not kind of into that stuff. And so I'm more curious on what you have as far as on your list. But if you want to go through kind of your categories.
Yeah. Well, what I was getting to is, so should we maybe, before we start kicking off our topics here, dive into what kind of context clues for those that are potentially making this gift purchase for their chivalrous man. Yeah. Like what cues should they be looking for? What goes into determining a type of gift for that particular person?
Yeah. So the way I when we started talking about this topic, the way it kind of broke mine up is for the wives and girlfriends and stuff like that. You know your man, right? You know whether he likes drinking whiskey, or maybe he likes drinking beer, or maybe he likes drinking wine. You know what that is. And kind of ours is going to be a bit of an outline, because it's really hard sometimes if you know someone drinks whiskey, because if you go to the whiskey aisle, it is, you know, end to end every type of whiskey. So I think we're well, at least with my list, I'm going to focus on is not the whiskey itself, but accessorizing the whiskey. Maybe,
Gotcha.
You know, and that way they're going to use it. Mm-hmm. And they might not drink the whiskey or the wine or the tequila or whatever. They might not drink that particular one, because people really do have particular tastes, but they will use the accessories. And some of them are really, really cool, and some look cool, but aren't very practical. I know I've gotten some like that, and I loved them. I was like, man, this is great. And then I never use them because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it looks really cool. For example, it wasn't on my list, but I've been to their Specs here, right? The liquor store that has fairly good prices. They have a whiskey glass that has kind of like a little hollow on one side to where you can put your cigar.
Oh, yes. I have one of those.
And it looks cool, right?
Yeah.
It looks badass. Mm-hmm. Have I used it? I used it once. It makes no sense when you're using it. Maybe some of our listeners out there.
Because if you're taking a drink, it's not holding your cigar at that point. Yeah. So you still got to set your cigar down into the
take
tray.
It off. Yeah, and
take your drink and then put it back in.
It's just not very practical. It looks cool, and I have one. I mean, I think, I don't know, I think one of my cousins or one of my wife's cousins got it for me because they know that I smoke cigars, and I'm telling you, it looks so cool because it's real thick glass.
Yep.
But it's not practical.
I have the same one. Hopefully this person isn't listening, but they left it at my house is what happened.
It's probably mine.
They had won it at our golf tournament a few years ago, and they left it at my house. I told them one time, they didn't pick it up. It went over the 90 days, and
that's mine.
It's
right?
mine now.
It's,
so even though I'm not going to use it and haven't used it, it's still going to sit in my cabinet. Yeah. It's mine.
Done. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not very practical, but it looks cool. It's cool to show off, and then I think people that don't have it or haven't used it will think it's cool. Mm-hmm. But it's one of those things. But anyway, let's go back.
Yeah, let's start with tech gadgets.
Okay,
I think that typically gravitates to a lot of men, little tech gadgets, and I think an essential one that would get used unless they're just totally anti-technology is something like a smartwatch or the Aura Ring tracker, that type of category. For example, I'm Apple Watch. That's what I like.
Right.
I've continued to buy Apple Watches every 2 years, every 3 years or so.
Are you up to the one that's like $800?
It's too big.
It's really big.
Pro 2 or I don't remember what they call it. But the face or the head's just way too big for what I like. Now the new one that came out, the 10, just the regular one.
Yeah.
I like it because it's thinner than all the other ones, and it's got a little bit of a curvature, so it sits better on your wrist.
Gotcha.
So that I'm hoping somebody does get that for me.
The one I was talking about is called the Ultra.
Yeah, the Ultra, and it's Ultra 2 is the latest one.
Yeah, right now. I almost bought it for my wife because she uses so she does what do you call it?
Hit workouts.
Well, kind of like that, but it's a particular one. I forgot where she goes for
Orange Theory.
Yeah, Orange Theory. There you go. And so they do track a lot of that stuff, and I liked it. And I was going to get it for her, but I got her the most recent one, and I said, "Look, this is the one I want to get for you, but I didn't want to get it for you, and then you not like it because it is too big, and then it gets bulky." I go, but I liked it. The thing about watches, especially Apple Watches, because I've had one, I guess 3 now. It's the battery life,
Yeah.
You can't wear it like I'd love to track your breathing patterns or stuff like if you're restless sleep and all that, but you can't wear it overnight because then it'll die.
Usually, so the one that I have on right now, which is 2 years old, I believe, it at the get-go, I could wear it nearly the 24 hours. So I would sleep in it, and then I would just need to remember in the morning or while I'm showering to put it on the charger. Maybe while I'm stationary, like doing work from the computer. I bought a little night. It's a night that's nailed.
Is that part of the gifts?
It could be. It definitely could be an accessory to add to that. But I think the Apple Watch or a smart tracking watch comes in handy for multiple purposes. Obviously, your notifications keep you from digging into your pocket to grab your phone and that type of stuff, or just seeing like, oh, that's DLH texting me, which he didn't text, but
he did not. We're like, what?
But if he texts, I could get the message. If I needed to respond, then obviously I would pull out my phone and respond, or you can do it through the watch. But then beyond that, the tracking of your workouts and so forth.
Correct. I do the Nike one for when I run.
Yeah.
And then there's also sometimes it'll ask you, are you taking a long walk? Are you running?
Yep.
Do you want me to track it?
Yeah.
But yeah, those are great. Along the same line, I don't know if it's techie, but Apple has the little trackers, the little circular, what are they called?
Air tags.
Air tags. Amazon got them way down now. There's like 4 for like $75.
Yep.
And those are really cool. Like, I'm actually considering buying them. I bought the Eufy ones because they were a lot cheaper than the Apple ones. And I threw one in the truck. I threw one on my bike. I gave it to my wife's car, my daughter's car. And then I think my wife has one in her purse. And it is kind of cool. And honestly, my daughter calls me. She's in college about 2 hours away from where we live. And she calls me. She's like, "Dad, I think somebody stole my car." And I said, "Okay, give me a second. Let me track it." And I was like, "Okay, I know where it is." And then she's like, I don't know what happened. And I said, "Okay, let me drive up there." I was getting ready to drive up there because I knew where it was. And then I called the cops there, and they said, "Look, my daughter's car, she thinks it got stolen. She lives in an apartment complex. Here's where it is. It looks like it's in a residential area." She's like, "Oh, what's the car? What's the plates?" And they go, "Oh, no, that's the tow yard. It was towed." And I was like, "What?" And it was right next to. Now they're not super pinpoint accurate.
Yeah,
maybe the AirTag is. I think the AirTag is.
They're really accurate. I have I have a total of, I think, 8, and I'm using 6 of them right now. So I have one hidden in my truck.
Yes.
I have
Where exactly?
I have a few in different luggage bags that I have. I have one for my keys, my motorcycle keys in particular.
Yeah.
So they do come in really handy.
Yeah.
Whenever you just
And you travel a lot, so I would assume.
Yeah. If my bag gets lost, I want to at least know. Okay, I'm gonna need to make a purchase tonight because
It's in Hawaii.
not coming. Yeah, and knock on wood, that hasn't happened to me. The one time that my luggage didn't make it on the plane with me, they took it to my house an hour later on the next flight. So
that's pretty good.
It wasn't a big deal, but I can see it becoming a big deal. So it does come in handy.
Yeah. Any other techie stuff that you have on your list?
Well, I have other techie stuff, but just for the sake of getting into the next category, I clothing and accessories.
Okay, clothing and accessories.
Yeah. This one's a little bit hard. I'm not necessarily into a bunch of fashion and stuff like that. I like quality, especially whenever it comes to shoes.
So that's not fashion? Quality isn't fashionable?
Well, I like. It's not necessarily the name brand. The one that I'm going to state is some nice sunglasses.
Okay,
some nice quality sunglasses. To me, the quality doesn't necessarily equate to like a name brand, because I know there's some company based out of Italy or something that is essentially producing all of these via China, but having a nice quality pair of sunglasses that the optics are really clean when you're driving.
Okay.
So for me in particular, I don't like the really dark shades that come into play, especially like if you enter into a room or enter indoors, it becomes really dark where you can't see. And I know I take off my glasses, right? But I like the lighter tints that still have the effect of reducing the sun ray beating down on me.
The ones you were wearing at the last podcast, and you were really dark. You're like freaking Stevie Wonder over there with the headphones.
It's because I was about to bust out the harmonica and start playing.
But I agree. I personally don't. And these gifts, we should probably said this, are gifts that men will not buy for themselves. Like, I am not spending $150 on sunglasses. I'm sorry, I'm never going to do that. But I do own a pretty good pair of Ray-Bans that I got as a gift. Now, I don't know how much they were, but I assume it's more than I would pay because I ain't buying them.
Mm-hmm.
I normally buy your $15 Amazon dark shades. And the reason I started doing that, because I wear them when I ride the bike, and I have lost them on the road.
Yep.
And I don't want to lose $100 sunglasses.
Yeah.
If it's $15, then I'll just pull over to the next gas station, go to the little rack right there, grab the next ones, and then keep going, because you need shades.
Yeah. I remember losing some Maui gems. I was at BJ's.
Really?
The BJ's restaurant. This was years ago. I had just bought those glasses. I loved them and left them at the table. Got to the car and was like, "Oh, I forgot my sunglasses." Went inside. Of course, no, I didn't see them. Oh man, what a gut punch! And then
that is so dirty.
Years later, I had some Toomies that I had picked up. Really loved them. Had people that would say, "Hey, can I buy them off of you?" And I'm like, "No," because I found out that they were like discontinued, so they weren't going to make any more. But lo and behold, I left them outside at my brother's house. He had some people working on his house, and once again, they disappeared and went to the backyard where those guys were. No, we didn't see anything. And Apple AirTag, if it fit on some glasses, it'd be perfect. It'd be perfect.
Oh, wait. Well, if they have the new shades, they can take video.
Yeah,
see who took
I put some of those on, so maybe this isn't a pro tip, but those of you that have a FSA account, for many of you, it's going to kick in January 1st. Maybe you need to spend what's left in your FSA. So would you consider gifting yourself a pair of nice shades if it fell in your FSA. Yeah, same here. Mine would have prescription, and I would get it done.
Nice. Okay, so anything else on there?
Well, no. Let me kick it over to you on that clothing and accessories.
I do agree with the shades. With clothing and accessories, I can't think of something right off the bat. Like, my list is pretty much stuff that it accessorizes kind of your vices.
Yeah.
But as far as clothing, I know I'm pretty particular. I'm not pretty particular. Like, I wear the same thing I wore when I was a senior in high school, Levi's blue jeans and a black t-shirt, or, just when it's on the weekend. But the shades is something that I would never buy. That's an excellent one. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, no, I'm good. I think mine more on along the line for just other stuff, like the tech stuff. I'll take this back. I just bought this. There's a company out there that's called Mighty Hanks, right? And it's a handkerchief, but it's a mini handkerchief. Now, I carry a handkerchief all the time, like every day. And I started doing it when I graduated from college because I always saw my grandfather have a handkerchief, those white ones. I don't know if your grandfather or...
No.
Yeah, there's white handkerchiefs. Like, all my uncles have them. Like, they kind of put them in their back pocket.
The purpose? Sweat?
It's for sweat. It's for blowing your nose. It's for just whatever, right?
But you would want to keep that in your pocket?
Yeah, they do. I don't. But I started carrying it because I thought it looked cool. And then it's just for wiping off sweat or stuff like that. Or if you cut yourself, or you need something to kind of squeeze onto, and then when we had kids,
I could see that coming in handy
snotty
real quick.
all the time, man. You look over and they're freaking, and yeah, you carried around a little bag and it has wipes and all, but I sometimes you don't have that handy, and you have to. And so with my kids, I would open it up, kind of clean their nose, fold it back, because it's a whole method, right? You open it and then you do the middle, then you fold it. That way, all the stuff is inside. Mm-hmm. So, but when the kids got older, you don't really use it. It's the purpose kind of minimizes it. Like, there's not a lot of purpose for it now. Like, I don't blow my nose on it because that's
kind of gross.
It's kind of off, right?
Yeah.
But this Mighty Hanks it has a design on the backside. It looks kind of cool. It could look like a regular bandana, or it could have a design. But on the inside, it's a cloth that you can wipe your glasses or your sunglasses. And I thought, I was like, that's genius.
Yeah, that does that, because I know I purposely purchased some sunglass wipes, and I've threw some in my truck.
Yes.
I threw some inside the house. Where's the other place? Oh, I put some in a backpack.
Yeah.
And I put some in my luggage.
Yes.
So that I have that, because it does come in really handy. And what's funny about the handkerchief, even though I've never really carried a handkerchief other than maybe a pocket square, closest thing. But I hoard napkins, so most of the time, if I can grab a couple napkins, there's probably a few in my pocket that haven't been used, but I keep them handy. I have some in my truck.
I do too. I carry all kinds of napkins in the truck.
But it scratches sunglasses, so
yeah. But this, I thought it was, and I've known about this company for a good 5 years, and I've never really gotten up to buying one because, it's.
What's the price point on them?
It's $20. Okay, $21, I think. For a handkerchief, it's expensive.
Yeah,
right. It's kind of dumb, but if it's on Amazon, I'm probably more likely to buy it.
So you got to cancel that subscription, like I do.
So instead of going to the company and paying them directly, which is what I did this time, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do it because they're cool, and I want to try them out. And it's $20. Like, if I went somewhere and they were outside, I'd have bought it because it's a great idea. But that would be my what was the category?
Clothing and accessories.
Clothing and accessories. I think that would be kind of cool. So Mighty Hanks, check them out. What's your other topic? What's your other category?
Next category is going to be outdoor and sports gear.
Okay. and I think we touched upon this last time with the gym bag. Like I just bought a gym bag, and like I said, I just went on Amazon and did 2024 gym bags, and this gym bag is kind of cool because it does have a place to put your shoes, and then on the bottom it has a zipper, and it's a plastic covering, so it's anything that's wet.
Yeah, all your dirty clothes, keep it from stinking up the rest of the stuff.
Right, and now at my gym, you can go grab one of those little bags. Like you can, if let's say you went swimming, you could put your swimming trunks in this machine, and then it dries them out. Yeah, and then you put them in this bag, and that's what I was doing before. But in the backpack I had, man, I throw it in the back, in the truck, and then by the end of the day, I get out and I was like, man, it
reeks.
It reeks. So I throw it in the trunk or in the bed of the truck. Well, with this one, I still put them in the bag, and then I put them in that zipper, and it's a plastic thick bag under it. It's kind of flat, and I just put them in there. So I thought those two were like the best additions because you don't want your shoes kind of mixing with your clothes because
once it gets moist, it's hard to get that stench out.
And so that to me is like I said, I hated buying it because I had to buy it, but once I found it, I was like, man, this is a good bag. What do you got?
So for outdoor and sports gear, I'm going to have to go with like some type of motorcycle accessory.
Oh shit.
Like
we still need to do a motorcycle podcast.
We do. In fact, we need to go for a ride before winter actually comes for San Antonio. So we got about a month and a half, I guess, before it gets cold. But I think
there's so many things.
There is, and I think I'm going to leave it pretty vague because there's just random things out there that can either dress up your motorcycle and or make your riding experience that much more enjoyable.
Right.
That you can. So right now, I think one of the things that I could benefit from, although I have yet to see something that would look sleek on my particular bike, but something to hold just stuff that I'm throwing in a backpack. So some saddlebags essentially, but
Viking saddlebags. Look at them.
Okay, I'll have
and
to.
Then the other thing that they have is they call it. It looks like a little bag that goes on your front handlebars,
like a fanny pack, but for a motorcycle.
Hey, fanny packs are coming back. I'm going to tell you right now.
Not for me.
They are coming back.
I didn't leverage them in the late 80s or 90s whenever they were fashionable. I know my mom used to tick me off because you should get a fanny pack. You can put it. No, Mom.
And they're not calling them fanny packs anymore. They're not calling them that. They're calling them everyday bag. They're calling it like a Bando Bag. I just saw a video the other day of this guy. I follow is Jeremy Sears, if anybody knows. And if you don't, it's really, he talks about cigars and whiskey and basically a bunch of guys.
I wouldn't trust him if he's got a fanny pack.
But he has this, he made a good point, and I put it on my Amazon list. It's called the Everly Stock Bando Bag, and it's basically to carry all your EDC stuff, right?
You know what? Is that the one that Shannon Sharp has been wearing around? So Shannon Sharp, what's funny is on his podcast, I don't remember when it was or who was on there.
Shannon Sharp.
But he wears a fanny pack, and the comedian brought it up, and he goes, well, I wouldn't make fun of you because he basically he kicked my ass, essentially. But it looks like, to me, it's a fanny pack. He's just wearing it across, and he's so big that you're not going to tell him anything. I'm not going to tell it. Don't listen to this, Shannon.
Which was funny is that he was saying, so Jeremy Sears, he has a YouTube channel. You can check him out. He was saying, wear it around your waist. If you wear it crossbody, I'm going to think.
No, that's the way Shannon Sharp.
I know. And he made fun of that, even though, so fanny pack is something to make fun of, right? But then on top of that, if you wear it crossbody, it's even worse. And I'm like, you're already wearing a fanny pack. I mean, how you wear it is kind of up to you. But he didn't quite sell me on it, but I didn't say no automatically. And I'll tell you why, because I do carry a bunch of shit. And my kids make fun of me. My wife is like, can you carry any more stuff on you? I carry a pocket knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
I carry the which some of these would be great gifts.
Well, we could do a podcast on what Jaime has in his pocket, and then we'll just go one by one.
We should do that one day. But I do carry a bunch of stuff on me, and the point that he made that I was like, okay, you kind of got me on there, is that in the summer, you don't want to wear jeans. You want to kind of wear shorts, right? Mm-hmm. And then this stuff weighs your stuff down, like weighs your pockets down. And so he goes, man, throw them in this Bando bag, not a fanny pack, Bando bag. And then it keeps it away from you. It
holds your lipstick.
Yeah, it holds everything. Chapstick, sir. I do carry a stick of chapstick. So.
Why is it colored?
Because you need a little shimmer sometimes. But anyway, not for all the listeners out there, don't let David shame you with your fanny pack. It's very manly.
Yes. If you want to wear it, go right ahead. It's not hurting me.
So that would be a good gift. And the Eberly stock Bando bag is $40, man. So now I probably won't ever buy it, but man, he made a good point. But if I got it as a gift, you know what? I might try it out.
Yeah. See, like me, I went from carrying a heavy wallet. Part of the reason why I don't carry a knife is just that's another thing to stick in my pocket. I typically will stick my AirPods in my pocket.
You can put them in this fanny pack.
No, I'm not doing that. They fit in my pocket. They fit in my shorts. And then I downsize my wallet where I'm essentially carrying 3 cards.
Yeah,
and it attaches to the back of my phone, and that's and also my truck keys. And my truck keys, I downsized that so it doesn't have any key other than the fob for the truck.
And then, okay, so, all right. So back to the techie. I know that you have one, and I was researching it at the time, and then I went to your house, and you have the Eufy door.
The Ring doorbell, essentially.
Ring doorbell. Mm-hmm. And I have one too, so that eliminated the house key.
Yes.
Which I thought was great. And then with my kids losing house keys left and right, I don't know how many. There's probably like 20 house keys all over this area that are to my house. So if you pick one up that has Yoda or like freaking Pokemon or something, because they just, they would love, you go to Home Depot and they're like, just pick one. If it has like daisies or flowers, that's probably my daughter's. But it did eliminate a lot of the keys. So I do have the keys for work, for my office, and then the truck key. And I try to eliminate the house keys. And I might just take them off because I did keep the house key that goes to the lock.
Yeah,
just in case.
I would, if it were me, I would probably hide that key somewhere.
We have a hideaway key too.
Have your hideaway key tucked somewhere, but I would eliminate the key altogether. Yeah. I don't know when it was, but I essentially, even whenever I had to have a key for certain things, it was like, okay, I just need the key to the house and the key to the vehicle. And outside of that, I'm eliminating all this other stuff. I'll just hang it somewhere. So when I do need it, I'll go and grab those keys and then do that. And I I don't want to say I fell in love with it, but that's kind of where I gravitated to and have done that since with other stuff. Cause I don't like carrying a bunch of stuff in my pocket. Yes, it could come in handy, but then I also start thinking from a practical standpoint, okay, how many times am I actually going to use this?
But that's not the question. The question is, when you need it, will you have it?
Yes, because I will call one of you guys and I'd say, hey, every time I've needed a knife, I'm around like you or Dan. Hey, let me see your knife real quick and cut it open. I give it right back. Let you carry it for me.
I carry it all the time. So that was, we were on fashion? No,
we were on outdoors outdoor and sports gear.
Sporting. Okay, so we did that. What's your next topic? Or do you have another one?
Yeah. Two more categories I have. I have home and lifestyle is the next one. So you have one that you want to throw out there?
Well, for the home and lifestyle, we kind of mentioned it at the beginning, is do the accessories if you don't know if that person specifically likes this type of whiskey or whatever drink, whatever vice he has, right? Do the accessories. I know there's whiskey flasks, there are glasses. If he smokes cigars, it's hard to get what they smoke. Is it a Maduro? Is it, just your everyday smoke? I can't even tell you what DLH loves to smoke. He's probably told me a couple of times, but so what I'm going to do if I go buy him something, it's a cigar cutter or an ashtray or, a holder, like a 2 cigar holder, something like that. If you lighters too. Who doesn't need a lighter? Like lighters are just awesome to have. I have one in the truck. I have like a couple here at the house. I have one that you gave me, I think for my birthday that I still use. And I think if you just kind of go around the accessories, I think you're better off than buying the actual vice, right? Or a cigar or a whiskey. I know they have the little ice cubes, the ball ice cubes, I guess, that you have the little molds that you just pour water in it and put it in your freezer.
Yeah. FYI on those. So I have the spear molds, and then I had a cube mold. I left the cube mold at one of the brothers' house a couple Thanksgivings ago, actually. And I would tell anybody that's thinking of the spears, just know that you have to put your water on the bottom, where the bottom plate of the mold. So the hard plastic is the bottom, right?
Okay.
You fill it up, and then you put the silicone mold over the top. And then you use this little funnel, and you have to put the water in that little funnel. And it's just kind of a pain.
Yeah.
Unless you're dead set on having a spear in your drink, I highly recommend just getting the nice cubed one.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier to fill up. It's a lot easier to use. It still has, from a utility standpoint, the same thing that you're trying to achieve with the spear.
Right.
The spear does look really cool, and they even have the skeleton or the skull.
Right.
They have those type molds, which are really cool. But
what is it called?
It's only a novelty for so long.
It's a spear. What is it called? What is the item called?
Ice mold.
Ice mold. Okay. I guess I have to look at it because I haven't seen those.
Yeah, they're really cheap. You can pick them up for less than $10 for the most part.
Are you saying sphere or spear?
Sphere. I'm sorry.
Sphere.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.
Total.
Oh, okay. I see them.
Yep.
I got it. Those are cool. I actually watched a whole video on how to get your ice balls like super clear.
Yes.
You have to go through a whole freaking process.
Well, the easiest, although it's not 100% all the time, but you just use some distilled water, and if you do that, you're more likely to achieve it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and there is a machine out there. I don't remember how much that machine was, but I thought, that'd be really cool to have. But once again, another gadget that I'm sticking on the kitchen counter that's got to stay there. Am I really going to use it, or is it going to be like,
It's something cool to have. People be like, man, that's awesome.
but if you get the nice cubed, the nice big cube silicone mold,
yeah,
those achieve the same result and are a lot easier to pour, a lot easier to just throw in the distilled water and throw it in the freezer.
Now, some of this stuff is fairly cheap. You can get up there in price on some of this other stuff. I know one thing that I saw that I thought was really cool, and I'm probably never going to buy because it's in the $100 range. It's basically a display case for your watches, or a display case for your knives. If you I have a shitload of knives. There's probably like 20 of them.
Yeah.
So I'd pick probably like the 10 best ones. But they look awesome. And then it has a glass cover where you can see them. And then so it keeps the dust away, that type of, because anytime you lay anything anywhere, it's going to collect dust. So it has a glass cover on it. Holmes and Hatfield, I think, is the one that I saw. That it's basically an organizer, and it has little drawers so you can have the other stuff. But if you have a bunch of watches, I know some people have like 3 or 4 watches. They just kind of collect watches.
I would fall into that category until the Apple Watch came along.
Really?
Once the Apple Watch came along, I kind of ceased doing that.
Yeah.
Because before that, I would purchase watches that I loved the look, loved the feel.
Yeah.
And kind of had a collection going for a little bit. Nothing extravagant, nothing like Rolexes and your high end $10,000+ dollars.
So you wouldn't have like your Apple Watch cases showing. I had to. So for the listeners out there, I was shamed by David. I just got an Apple Watch and I didn't want to do the band that comes with it, because I didn't like it. I don't like it, and so I just bought a cheap ass one from Amazon. It was probably like $5, $7.
Yeah,
like a plastic.
I have a few of those. Are you talking about DLH or me?
No, you.
Oh, did I? Oh,
yeah.
crap.
So I think we went to Dallas for some reason. I don't know why. So, but we drove up there. I think maybe for the Niners game. I don't know. One of those times we'd driven up to Dallas, and of course I didn't take my charger. And then I take my watch. No, it was one of the Spartan races. I take my watch off. I said, "Hey, David, you have that charger?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Can you charge my watch?" He's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." He's like, "Dang, bro, why you got this cheap ass band?" I said, "Because I haven't decided which route I want to go, but I know I don't like that one."
Yeah.
So I just bought a cheap one just to kind of tide me over until I make I'm gonna spend $40 on this, And I never did it. My wife ended up buying this one, and it came with two, and one was like a chrome one and a black one. So, So if I ever bought that organizer, I just have all these Apple
bands,
these Apple, bands on there, because I really only have two watches. One that my wife bought several years ago that I actually wanted to get back to, because I was going to do away with Apple Watches. Like I'm going to go, I'm going to be off the grid, and then Christmas rolls around and my wife buys me another Apple Watch. And I'm like, now I can't, I have to get back on, because I can't, my general rule when I receive gifts is that I have to keep it, right?
Yeah.
I have to use it. I have to, some people will re-gift stuff. I don't do that. I just think it's my own personal thing.
Same with me.
I know my son bought me a little holder, a little Leatherman holder.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of a little bit bigger than I'm used to. And so he was probably like 6. No, I'll take that back. I remember like 7 and 8. And he really thought about it. Like he, seriously looked at different options and bought me one. And when I saw it, I was like, this is really cool. And then I put it on my shelf, right? And then, a couple of weeks after Christmas, like 3 or 4 weeks, he's like, "Dad, do you not like your gift?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I love it, son. I mean, it's really great. It's thoughtful. You nailed it. This is great." He goes, but you don't use it. I was like, dang it. And then so I started using it. From then on, I never took it off. Partly because, you kind of, you don't want to break your kid's heart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I do. I love it. I love it because it does take stuff out of your pocket. So then I put my Leatherman in there. It has a space for a pen. And then it has another space for like a small little flashlight. So I had all three of them, and I wore it every day, wore it to work, and it just became part of what I do.
Yeah.
But it was partly because he's like, "What's up?" "Hey dog, I just spent like."
That's whenever you take the knife and you slightly start cutting it up on the side. It broke on me. I'm sorry. It's irreplaceable. I'm just gonna go back to this.
Oh my God! Do you have some for
home and lifestyle?
Home and lifestyle.
No, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head. I think for home and lifestyle too, another accessory that I think fits really well with most men is those that are into barbecuing.
Yes,
not necessarily trying to dip into how they should spice their the meat that they're cooking or anything like that. You don't want to get into that unless you know specifically what it is that they like. So better case is maybe some tongs or a meat thermometer or just things that enhance that experience for that person.
Or that infrared thing where you could tell the temperature of the meat.
Yeah, like
what is it called? I don't know what it's called.
Well, like
sensor or whatever.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one in particular, but it's essentially like a meat thermometer that beeps you whenever they're Bluetooth enabled and all that.
Yeah,
because
anytime you read instructions, it's like, make sure it gets to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. We're like, man, how the hell? Like, I'm spending like fucking $400 just to cook this damn turkey. It's like, but nobody got that.
I think those are are solid pieces to get, especially when you're not spot on sure what it is that they drink or like.
And this goes for almost anything. Stick with the accessories. Don't
or anything to enhance what they currently do.
Correct. Yeah. I know it's easy to just go get a gift certificate to like Academy, and that's never going to be, like looked down upon. I know a friend of mine, really close friend of mine, I gave him a gift certificate for Christmas. We were coworkers at the time, and he's like, "What? Why are you doing this?" And I was like, "Man, it's Christmas. I just thought I'd give you something." He goes, "Bro, next time just give me the cash. Because I can spend it anywhere." I said, "Now I got to go to Academies." I was like, "Man, what the hell?"
Well, the other thing too is you end up collecting those dang gift cards, yeah. And I know that sometimes you have to use up the entire gift card, but your purchase exceeds that, right? Yeah. Or maybe it's even less. Well, you don't want to leave 10 cents on the card, right?
You buy the stick of gum right there.
Yeah, but then that gum with the taxes is now 22 cents. So now you're having to shell out something else. And
the way you do it is like,
pain.
You're like, this is what I do. Would I buy that? No. But would I buy it if it's $30 to $40 cheaper? And then you say yes, because now it's a good deal. So then you use the card and then you pay the rest.
But I know those retailers are pocketing a lot of that interest money that's just holding. I don't remember. I saw a stat that Starbucks had millions of dollars all tied up in gift cards that people are not using that gift card. And that's a shame.
And pro tip on the gift cards, be careful. Because I had a friend of mine tell me, he goes, "Man, I took a gift card and I went to go pay for the stuff. And the little dude or girl at the cash register is like, it doesn't work." And he's like, "But I just got it. Like, what's up?" He's like, "Well, it doesn't work." And he's like, "Well, screw it. I'll just pay for it." And then she tried to keep the card. And he's like, no, give me the card back. Because maybe she was saying it doesn't work, so she could just throw.
Yeah. Well, that's nothing.
Yeah, because you would do that. You would like, well, then here, take it.
That's. I've had like
it's a little scam.
I've had where they stole the number or whatever, and it's just a pain. It kind of sucks.
So then you're saying just give cash instead of a gift card.
Yeah, just give cash. To me, I think that's a lot easier to manage. They can stick it in their pocket or stick it in their bank account and move on with life.
All right, what's your next?
So the last category I have is hobbies and entertainment.
Okay. What do you got?
And now this particular category, I think a gift giver can become the most creative in, and could score the biggest points. I would imagine, because if you're picking up on cues on things that they like or a hobby or something that really that person finds enjoyable, or you kind of build up all the context clues and you ultimately say, I think Jaime would be into this hobby. I just need to introduce him to it. And that gift could be that door to open, right?
Yes.
For me, and maybe even for us, I think right now it would be podcast stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
We've been doing this podcast.
You bought everything, though.
Well, yeah, I've bought everything. Now I just need people to gift me money, give me cash, gift me all the other things. Yeah, but I think when somebody finds something that they enjoy, I know last year and so forth, I still have it, and I do like doing things on it, but the laser. The laser engraver, the CNC machine that I bought over the years. Like, I like doing that kind of stuff. Whenever I get into it, I get like really into it. But then I also taper away from doing anything, just because there's not something that I have in my mind that I want to create or want to do,
right? Or
I'm not necessarily pushed to do. But I do like creating things. And coming up with things that ultimately I can see the progression of what I've done or didn't do.
Right.
I like those types of hobbies.
Yeah. My wife, a couple of years ago, did a subscription, and it's called Master's Class.
Oh yeah, yeah. Where
And-
the online videos by the masters of that particular
Yeah,
area. Yep.
and she's like, I thought you would enjoy it, and I was like, okay. So I had a yearly subscription for it, and I watched so many, and she nailed it. Like at first I was like, oh, it's okay, but then I started watching them. I watched one on how to write a book.
Yeah.
Tells you, kind of how to get you started. We were playing poker a lot, so the poker kid, he did a basically a 40-minute seminar on playing poker and things to look at, which I watched. And so you just pick, and it has, man, so many different topics.
Should have did that Franklin barbecue, yeah, and barbecued shit since I've been around.
Because I don't have a grill yet. I'm still, from episode 3 or whatever. I'm still waiting on buying this grill, and I think I've settled on what I'm just gonna go to charcoal.
There you go.
And then it's
Charcoal
heavy.
and wood.
It's heavy as hell, so I need to extend my deck to be able to accommodate it, and I need to make sure that it can sit on top of it, right? Because it's a big old metal thing. So that's why I haven't grilled. And Letty's like, so.
Well, if you need help moving it, DLH, get a doctor.
Get a
doctor to help you move.
So I lost my train of thought. So anyway, so it's called Master's Class. That's kind of cool. And you can learn about anything, cooking, whatever it is that whatever hobby you want to get into, it probably has it on there. And I enjoyed it. When the year was up, I was like, damn, I was trying to get this one in, but I watched it throughout the year, and that's a good one. The other one, you said hobbies, right? That's
it's hobbies and entertainment.
So the other thing, I know that we started playing. Well, we have we play poker tournaments every couple of years. I mean, every couple of months. Like we probably do like 3 or 4 a month. And like we were saying before, when people found out that, oh, Jaime likes poker, I started getting a bunch of poker stuff, but may not be the best poker stuff.
Yeah.
So just if you're going to if somebody plays poker, and likes playing poker, don't go buy the bicycle poker deck. I mean, they're paper cards, and if they get wet, inevitably they're going to get wet. I don't think there's been a night where we played poker that somebody did not spill freaking beer on some cards. So just pro tip, get plastic cards, plastic playing cards.
Or you can just play with a fresh deck every time with them paper
Yeah,
ones.
No, they're terrible. They don't shuffle well. Believe me, there's so many great brands out there. Copag is a great brand. Now you will pay a little bit more, but they shuffle really well and they last longer than paper cards. I'm going to tell you right now, if your person, significant other plays poker, kind of stray away from certain poker chips, but that's getting a little too. Just if you remember anything, plastic playing cards. That's it. Don't get, when you're buying them, ask the guy and make sure they're plastic, and it'll say on the cover. But they're better than your normal paper cards or whatever. The other thing is like anything Yeti. Like I will accept anything, a Rambler, a little holder, their coolers, anything like that. I mean, Yeti's a really legit brand. It's really good. Yeah, you can go buy, what is it? What is the other brand? Arctic, or HEB has a brand.
Yeah, I don't remember the name, but
yeah, but everybody has their clones, and they're probably just as good.
They are,
but sometimes you just want to. I'm gonna go ahead. If you're buying, then I'll get the extra one. It's like, let's see, what else do I have on my list? Tools. I know we talked about tools. Here's one. And there's different brands, right? They have Ryobi has their own set of tools and batteries. Milwaukee, DeWalt, they all have their own set, right? But if you really want to get something and they don't already have it, a tire inflator, because I know we're in December, well, tomorrow, and inevitably your tires are going to be not at the PSI that it needs to be. And the new inflators, you can just go in there and program it to go 41 PSI or 35 PSI or whatever the PSI in your car is. Because this happened to me last week. My wife pulled out of the driveway, pulled back in. She's like, my tires are low. And they were really, really low. They were like 28. Yep. And so I go grab my little inflator, punch in 35 and get her back going. So that to me is like, if you're going to buy one tool and one that you will use, especially if you have kids, man, you're always inflating basketballs and footballs and they always need it. So
the new ones that they make are very portable.
Yes. And it comes with the battery.
They're really nice.
And they're kind of cheap. I mean, you're not going to, and especially if you already have
about
that.
$50.
Yeah.
If that.
And if you already have the battery, then you're in. But there you go. I mean, did we come up with 5 good ones or?
Yeah, well, those are the 5 categories. And then of course we had several in between there. I think the bottom line is if you are in the position of potentially purchasing a gift for somebody, I think what strikes the biggest chord is whenever you show that you've paid attention to something that they like, do, right, or live by or whatever. They have a certain mantra or something, and you'll hit a home run more likely whenever it gravitates along the lines of, hey, I paid attention to your interest,
right,
and see that.
And for the men, most of our listeners are men, pay attention to your significant other or your wife or both. It's just
I thought we were just talking man gifts here.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, conversely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I think one of the ones that you had that I didn't have is sunglasses. I didn't even think about that because I don't pay for them. But it's kind of weird that I wouldn't buy it for myself, but I think I would buy it for my dad or my brothers or
somebody that would appreciate it for whatever reason, or they're not in a position where they would want to. Here's a big example on running shoes. There for years, I was running in $20 Reeboks.
Yeah,
true story.
Nike, but yeah,
I was putting in tons of miles running around 2017, 2016, tons of miles, and all on $20 pair of Reebok sneakers that I would buy.
Yeah,
I did not know the difference whenever you put on some quality type sneakers.
Brooks.
And I received a gift card to DSW.
Okay.
There was nothing in there that I wanted from a dress shoe standpoint. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get some sneakers. And I went over to the sneaker aisle or the shoe aisle sneaker aisle, and saw that the most expensive ones were these On Clouds. The gift card was $100.
Yeah.
The On Clouds were $130, and I was like, okay, I'm willing to
see. So you
shell out
like
$30.
Yeah, $30 is a good price for a pair of shoes.
Yeah,
but you had $100.
Yep. And so I put on those shoes and ran the first time. Thought I don't know, but after running on those 2 or 3 times, it was like, oh wow, I kind of see the difference.
Yes,
it's a different perspective, and it opened that, and that's what you can do as a gift giver is open those doors, kind of like what I was saying on hobbies.
No, that's a great point. Like, I know that when I started running a lot, maybe like 15 years ago, like 2010, 14 years ago, and I did the same thing. I was running with regular ass shoes. My wife then started. She ran in high school, so she knows. So she started researching shoes, and she went from Brooks to Hoka's to like Nike Flyknits to just testing every shoe imaginable. Yeah. And then she settled on the Hoka's, and then she bought me when she was wearing Nike. She bought me Nike, and then when she went to Hoka's, she bought me Hoka's. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, Hoka's. I mean, I'm not paying $180. Although I did kind of roundabout pay for it because it was a gift from my wife. But they're really nice. Like, you do, I mean, when you're young, you're like, whatever, man, But they do make a difference. They do, conversely, right? Well, not conversely, but in addition to buying your shoes, one thing I did for my brother, my oldest brother, the ultimate alpha male, right? I go, man, I know this man is on his feet all the time. And I know I'm not on my feet, and my feet hurt sometimes. That I bought him some UFOs, They're like
recovery shoes.
Yeah, recovery shoes, and they feel like sponge. Actually, I'm wearing them right now, and I bought it for him. And of course, my brother is like, I didn't get it. Like, hey man, thanks for this. It was nothing like that. So anyway, his wife calls me or texts me. She's like, he loves them. He loves them, and I love them. I love them so much. I made him buy me some because they do feel so good. Yep. And you know, these shoe stores, they're like, you just bought the Hokas. You know, you need recovery shoes. And I know it's a scam, but it works. Yeah. So anyway, my brother, I got him a pair of shoes, and he ended up buying some for his wife, and then his nephew, because his nephew plays sports, and he was over and he tried them on and he loved them, and so he ended up buying, I think, his nephew some Ufos too. And he's like, man, thanks for the gift, but you cost me another $300. Stop doing that shit. So yeah, okay. So we have sunglasses. If you're gonna buy stuff for whiskey, cigars, stick around the accessories, lighters, cutters, ashtrays, flasks, that type of stuff, because people are, you know, have different taste. The other stuff is like, you know, some tools, your inflators, your Leatherman stuff, tech gadgets. I think you kind of
I highlighted the Apple Watch, or essentially like a smart watch, something that can almost the multi-tool for your body. Yeah.
Now, the other thing, these are, I think those cover most men, because you're either real techie or real kind of, you know, you're into tools and stuff like that. And this covers everything in between. You got the handkerchiefs for the people that are, you know, kind of a little fancier, and the glasses and the watches. Then you have the tools and other stuff for the people that are more hands-on. So did we come up with a
board approval?
With a board approval?
So minus the fanny pack that was mentioned today.
I think we need to put it in there.
Minus the fanny pack.
I don't want to shame.
I would vote to board approve the other gifts.
Okay, so board approve accessories for whiskey and cigars, right? Stick with the accessories. Yep. And barbecue.
Yep.
Because you don't know. So stick to the accessories for barbecues, cigars, whiskey. And then look at some tech stuff. You know, Apple Watches. What was the tag? Apple tags.
Air tags. Yep.
Air tags. And then, you know, sunglasses. I think sunglasses is a really good one.
Yep.
So put sunglasses in there. And I think that covers you. You know, if you want to get into hobbies, you know, I'll put in there plastic playing cards. And then anything Yeti, anything that helps you with drinking a beer, you know,
or anything that opens up a new hobby,
right,
or talent.
Would you say somebody. Open?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I just introduced you to another beer. You're welcome.
Yeah. Don't accept the craft beer that David gets you that he got for $2.99.
No, $2.75. And that stuff is good. I just
really,
it's been good.
But you didn't bring it. So.
No, I didn't, because I'm starting to run thin.
I'm mad at you. All right, guys, there you go. Board approved. These are your 5, I guess the top 5 gifts: sunglasses, accessorizing whiskey and cigars, and then some tools, Leatherman's, Ryobi stuff, inflators, Apple AirTags, and then anything Yeti.
Yeah, just anything magical. Board approved.
Yeah, board approved. Thank you, guys, and hope you have a good Christmas. All right. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.